Shopping is hard, right? But I found a better way. Stitch Fix online personal styling makes it easy. I just give my stylist my size, style, and budget preferences. I order boxes when I want and how I want. No subscription required. And he sends just for me pieces, plus outfit recommendations and styling tips. I keep what works and send back the rest. It's so easy. Make style easy. Get started today at stitchfix.com/Spotify. That's stitchfix.com/Spotify.
If your roof starts to leak or your floor's really squeaky, you live in a money pit. Money pit.
If your basement needs a pump or your place looks like a dump, you live in a money pit. Money pit. Pick up the telephone.
Fix up your home sweet home by calling 888-MONEY-PIT.
The Money Pit is presented by the Metal Roofing Alliance. Now here's Leslie Segretti.
Coast to coast and floorboards to shingles, this is the Money Pit. I'm Leslie Segretti, as always, joined by my senior producer and all-around smarty pants friend, Jim Kenzie. How's it going, Jim?
The check's in the mail, Segretti.
Listen, dude, I'm waiting. They're not showing up. Well, what am I going to call you?
Oh, they'll show up. They just won't clear.
All right, we're going to have that kind of day. Jim, we're like halfway through August and pumpkin spice everything is everywhere. So why not talk about cooler temps and fall home projects that we can start to plan or at least prep for? So we've got a great hour here at the Money Pit for you. The cooler weather is on the way. I promise. It doesn't feel like this mega hot summer is ever going to end, but it will. So let's talk about getting your home ready. We're going to share your ultimate fall home prep checklist that's going to help you seal drafts, service the furnace, prep your lawn, lots of stuff. You don't want to miss these smart steps to get your house fall ready. And maybe you or a friend or your child is moving into a dorm or a first apartment. Well, we've got the essential tool checklist and pro tips that every student should know to set up and maintain their new space. From what to hang things with to what to fix fast. It's your crash course in first-time home care, so don't miss that. And it's never too early to think about getting your plumbing ready for colder temperatures. As the weather starts to cool down, your home's plumbing system is at risk of major damage if it's not ready for the freeze. So coming up, we're going to share key steps to leak-proof your home before cold temps turn small drips into big disasters. So we've got lots of great advice to share, so let's get to it. Give us a call now at 888-MONEY-PIT so we can lend a hand. Jim, who is first?
We have Ron in Oregon with a flooring question. Now, is it Oregon or Oregon, Leslie?
I say Oregon. Oregon? Origami. No, different word. Okay, go on.
Give us the details, Ron.
Yeah, I got a Brazilian cherry floor, and I'm wondering what would be the best thing to clean it with, because I don't know who's cleaned it and with what.
All right, Ron in Oregon, or Oregon. Ron? Welcome. Anyway, your flooring. Is this an old floor? Is it newly installed?
7 years old.
All right, well, 7 years. That's, new-ish. What I would recommend sort of at first is kind of a two-step process. Now, you can use Murphy's oil soap on the floor. It is a fantastic cleaning product. It does wonders. It really is kind of neutral. It's not going to need a ton of water, so you're not going to oversaturate that wood floor. And it's going to do a great job of pulling out whatever that floor already has on it. Now, there's a ton of different liquid floor polishes out there. They don't tend to have the same sort of natural shine that a paste wax floor would. So if you have a hardwood floor, generally they put a hardwood floor wax on that's buffed on during the sort of installation process as it's being finished. And you could rent a buffer and use a floor wax like, every so often, maybe do it once a year, move the furniture out of the way. But let's be honest, who's going to actually do this once a year? So
It's
if
like
you
furnace
want,
filters every month.
Oh my God.
Right.
Change them every month. Did I do it this season? Great. Good for you. You've accomplished it. But truly, filters once a month when you can. But for this, if you're really looking to get this floor sort of uniform, pull out whatever sort of's on there, I would start with a good cleaning with the Murphy's oil soap and then rent a buffer and use a floor wax. And it's not something that you can mess up. It really goes on very easily. It's kind of a fun tool to rent, to use. You don't need to buy it. The floor wax goes on very well. And you're going to end up with a sort sort of nice, warm, soft, natural glow to that wood floor, which is beautiful and should last you years to come unless it's a super high traffic area. And again, you don't have to do it every year. If you could, fantastic. Your house will look amazing. If you do it every 3-4 years, awesome. I'm real proud of you. But that's a good way to do the floor, and you should be super thrilled with how that Brazilian cherry looks after it.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, you're very welcome. Thanks so much for calling us at 888-MONEY-PIT.
Heading over to Delaware now, where we have Eve, who's trying to get rid of a smoke smell. What's going on, Eve?
Right. We recently purchased a row home in Philadelphia, and it has a third-floor studio apartment where the previous occupant was a heavy smoker. And we're trying to get rid of the smell from the cigarettes. We've tried removing the floor tiles, replacing the drop grid ceiling tiles, and painting, but the odor is still pretty strong. So I'm wondering if you have any suggestions.
All right, so you mentioned a drop ceiling. Did you move all those tiles and then paint the surface like above that?
No, we didn't.
All right, well, let's talk about this. What kind of paint did you use? Did you use a primer of any kind?
We didn't. We just used a regular latex paint.
All right, well, the best thing to do in a situation like this is to use a very good quality primer. You want either an alkyd primer or a solvent-based primer because those will tend to seal in all of those odors and yuck that you're finding on the wall and the ceiling surfaces. The other area that you might not have thought about is the floor. You mentioned there's a tile floor. It's a hard surface, right?
Yeah, right now we pulled up everything and we're down to the plywood, and we were just going to put in a new flooring. So is there anything we should do before we do that?
I mean, if you've pulled up everything and you're looking at plywood, I would also paint that plywood. The goal of priming everything is to seal that odor in. You want to use a good quality oil-based primer like Kills, for example, and prime every single thing that you can, because the primer there, the Kills, will do a great job of sealing out those odors, and just some normal ventilation ought to do it. But I think if you don't prime those surfaces, you're never going to completely be able to get rid of that odor. And of course, it goes without saying, there's none of the furniture or curtains or any kind of soft goods still in there from the previous owner?
Yes. The only other question is, what about like kitchen cabinets?
Well, you can't do much with the cabinets, but what you can do is clean them, and you can use like a good prep product called TSP. It's trisodium phosphate. It's like a powdery soap mix. You buy it in the paint aisle. You mix up a solution, and you can clean with that. I mean, if you want it to be a little bit more durable, you can kind of mix the solution a little bit thicker as you're blending it with the water and kind of give it a good scrub with it. And that should do the trick. If you've got wood, you might not want to use TSP on it, but you could use Murphy's Oil Soap. And Murphy's Oil Soap does a great job. I have a small apartment in Vermont that I rent out when I'm not there skiing. And, you know, I feel like a lot of people have issues with ventilating the fireplace correctly when they're burning a fire. And sometimes I come up there and the place smells pretty smoky. And I have like a little entry that's all wood paneling. And that room can smell just like the firebox. It's terrible. Not in a good way. Not like, ooh, we're camping. It's like, ooh, that's smoky. And Murphy's Oil Soap at the beginning of every season for us does a great job of wiping out the odor from the previous season, and it does a great job. So you could try that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, Eve. Well, you're welcome. Good luck with your project, and thanks so much for calling us at 888-MONEY-PIT. I mean, thankfully, less people are smoking these days, so hopefully we won't be dealing with that many calls. But if you got a fireplace, I'm here to help you.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
Hey, Money Pit Podcast fans, you want to help us out? Well, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and we're going to give you a virtual high five. Plus, you'll be helping us spread the word about our show. Just go to moneypit.com/review. Well, only a few short weeks of summer left, so let's make the most of it. As summer is winding down, you can swap out those faded cushions and tired planters with some pops of bolder color. You can do like a deep coral, a navy, a golden yellow. These are kind of warm, seasonal hues without kind of leaning fully into fall just yet. You can add a few new throw pillows or lanterns on the patio for an instant refresh. It's going to kind of take you right through Labor Day, which is how long you you want to be out there enjoying it. Then we can talk about, sprucing it up again for the fall. All right, Jim, let's see who's up next for the Money Pit.
And on this edition of Stump Leslie, we've got David with a concrete issue. What's happening, David?
I mean, I hope we're not going to stump Leslie. Let's see.
I am putting a patio right at the foot of the steps.
Okay.
Is it all that important that I connect it to the house or not?
Connect the patio?
Yeah, concrete.
I mean, no, the patio itself doesn't physically get connected to the house. You do want to make sure that the base you prep for that patio is solidly tamped, pressed down very effectively so you don't get settlement, but it's not going to physically connect to your home at any point. A deck would connect to the house, but a patio won't.
I mean, the house was built in the 80s, so, the house is pretty much already settled. There's no need to put the rebar in. It'll stay connected to it.
I'm not sure what you mean by the patio staying connected to it. I mean, a patio can be completely separate from the house. Like you could have a patio 20 feet away from the house. A deck would be connected. A concrete patio is going to be on the ground and not connected. It could be right up next to the house. I mean, the really important thing here is that you want to make sure the soil underneath this patio is tamped, it's properly prepped before you pour that patio, and that you don't have any kind of drainage problems that could cause erosion of the soil underneath your concrete patio, and then that could cause problems. I mean, sometimes during downpours, you'll find a downspout shooting out water on top of a patio or maybe just underneath the patio, and then that soil starts to wash away. And that's how you get movement of the entire slab or cracking. But as long as that base, that soil below, is stable and properly prepped, you shouldn't have to worry about attaching it to the house at all. Does that make sense?
All right. Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
All right, great. Yeah, you're welcome. Good luck with that project. And thanks so much for calling us at 888-MONEY-PIT.
Leslie, do you realize you just rattled off properly prepped before you pour that patio?
Did I realize? I didn't even think about it.
See, that's probably why you nailed it.
Yeah, no, forget it. Properly.
Close enough.
Don't try me.
Let's quit while we're ahead.
Yeah, seriously.
Sandy in Nebraska, you've got the Money Pit. How can Leslie and I help you out today?
Well, we have ceramic floors, and they're ceramic tile, and they're probably 20 years old. They just don't come clean anymore. They're real porous, and we've scrubbed them with a scrub brush, and they will come sort of clean, but that's a whole lot of work. We've tried different cleaners, vinegar and water and soft and scrub and Clorox and water and soda and water, and they just don't come clean. And short of tearing them up, what could we possibly do for them?
Yeah, it sounds almost like the glaze is worn off from the ceramic tile.
Well, I don't even know if it ever had a glaze.
Well, most tile is going to have a glaze unless it's like that natural Mexican tile. It's called like saltillo tile. But I'd be very surprised to find a tile out there that didn't have some sort of a glaze finish to it. That surface is just going to wear down after a really long time, and it depends on the quality of the tile. So while I don't have a good solution for you right at this moment, it is a fairly unusual problem. And, you can clean the grout if that's bothering you. You can replace the grout. You can seal the grout once you resurface it or refinish it, but the tile surface itself is not really possible to add an additional glaze to make it sort of restored. You might want to think about some other floor options, truly. I mean, and a really inexpensive one, by the way, would be laminate. A laminate floor works super great in a bathroom because it's very moisture resistant. It's kind of snaps together and floats on top of the original floor. So all you have to do to install it is put in a new saddle when the door comes across, or maybe add some shoe molding between that and the baseboard. It's really a simple project that does make a huge difference. But there are other floor choices. If you just want to maintain that ceramic tile look, you could also put a second layer of tile over the top of that one without removing the original. As long as that original layer is solid, there's no decay or softness, structurally it's not uneven, then you can definitely go ahead and put that second layer of tile right on top. All right, Sandy?
Yes, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, as much as we might want to hold on to summer, fall is just around the corner, and now is the perfect time to tackle those home maintenance tasks that will keep your house comfy, efficient, and protected all season long. So first up, let's check out the heating system. You do want to schedule a professional service for your furnace or boiler. That tune-up will ensure that your system is running efficiently and reliably when the temperatures do drop. Plus, a clean filter can help with indoor air quality, which which tends to suffer when homes get sealed up for the season. Now, as we're sealing things up, you want to check for drafts. You can take a walk around the house with a lit candle or that incense stick on a breezy day. If you see that flame flickering near those windows and doors, it is time to add some weather stripping or caulk. You want to seal up those gaps because not only will it keep your home warmer, it is going to cut down on those heating costs. Now, let's not forget about the gutters. You do want to clean them out before the leaves really start falling. Clogged gutters can lead to water backups, ice dams, and roof damage come wintertime. And speaking of a roof, when you are outside, you want to do your visual inspection of the roof. You want to look for missing or damaged shingles. You want to check that the flashing around the chimneys and the vents is intact. Catching those issues now can prevent leaks during those heavy fall rains. And for one more tip here, you want to prep your lawn. Now, fall is the best time to fertilize and aerate. That's going to give your grass a head start for next spring, and it will help it recover from all of that summer stress. If you tackle this checklist now, you're going to be ready to enjoy all of those cozy things about fall without worrying about what's happening behind the scenes in your home. I mean, there's always something to tackle to keep your money pit in tip-top shape. So give us a call so we can lend a hand. Jim, who's next?
Larry in Texas is on the line looking for some help with a new roof. Fill us in, won't you, Larry?
Well, we have a 15-year-old roof. We put 30-year timberline shingles on originally about 15 years ago. We had a hailstorm. I had the insurance adjuster come out and take a look at it, and he said, yes, you need to replace it. He says we've got about 35 squares to tear off and 39 to replace.
Okay.
He estimated 15-pound felt for most of it, 30-pound felt for our 12-12 pitch. He suggested roofer company A that suggested shingle brand 1.
Okay.
And I have worked with a roofer B who said, no, we probably ought to go with shingle brand 2.
Okay, are they both brand name shingles?
Yes, I can name them if you want.
Well, are they dimensional shingles? Do they look like the Timberline that you mentioned you had before, or are they different?
They will be very similar to the Timberline.
All right, so when you compare the two, do they have a similar warranty?
I think they both carry 30-year, although one, I have not seen written copy from either one, and one of them indicated that after 10 years the warranty may taper off.
So now when it comes down to choosing the roofer, if the shingles are similar, if they offer a similar warranty, if they look similar to what you had before, now what's going to help you make that choice is who that roofer is, because a roof is only as good as the craftsperson who's installing it. So you want to make sure that the workmanship is done very well. And if it's not done well, you're going to end up with some problems. So I would make my decision based on which roofer I felt the most confident would do a good job. And whatever product that roofer is comfortable working with, I would kind of just accept that that's the product that they're going to use. And I wouldn't force this roofer to use a different one because they probably feel most comfortable in working with that shingle that they're recommending. Now, when it comes to it, you have to look at all of the details. You have to look at the flashing, the underlayments, all of that. If you have a roofer that does a really good job and has all of those good focused details, underlayment, flashing, you're going to be good without any issues.
The adjuster missed one skylight in his estimate. He also missed one roof jack, and he said, oh, well, we can pick that up when the roofer does his job. Is that common industry practice?
All right, well, I don't know what that insurer means by we can pick that up. If he missed it in his estimate, I think you need to have them go back and revise that estimate to include those elements that they missed, because they may not remember that they said, yeah, we'll add it into it when we get to the point, you know, when you're actually in the midst of the project. So if you go now and you're talking to the insurance adjuster and say, hey, I just want to revise this estimate and include all of these components, this way you've got it in writing. When you go to the roofing installer, you know exactly what they're supposed to be doing, what's going to be covered. Nothing's going to get mixed up because they have to include that skylight. They have to include all of those things. So I would make them change it now. It shouldn't be a big deal. I mean, you might have to make a couple of phone calls and it's definitely going to be annoying, but better now than later and not get reimbursed for it. All right. Well, thanks so much for calling us and best of luck with this project.
Yeah, good luck, and just get it in writing now while you can.
Hey guys, don't give up on your flower beds just yet. You know, late summer is the perfect time to deadhead those spent blooms. You just want to snip off the old flowers to encourage more growth. That's going to give your plants the boost that they need, and then you can add some balanced fertilizer there. You'll get a wave of fresh color that will last until those chilly nights start rolling in, and I do love that late summer bloom. Really anything to extend the use of that yard space. So get out there and get tending to the garden. Well, moving into a dorm or your very first apartment is a big milestone, and it's often the first time students are responsible for maintaining their own space. So what do they actually need to be prepared? Well, here's our essential toolkit and a few pro tips to get your new place in shape from day one. Now, let's start with the basics. Every student should have a small but mighty toolkit. You don't need contractor-grade gear here, but a few essentials can go a long way. So you want to stock a claw hammer, screwdrivers, flathead and Phillips, an adjustable wrench, pliers, a tape measure, a utility knife, and a level. Bonus points for a power drill with some basic bits, especially if you've got a lot of furniture to assemble or you're hanging some shelves. That's going to be key. Next, you want to think about hanging things up safely. Now, dorms and rentals often have strict rules about damaging the walls, so command strips and removable hooks are going to be your best friend there. They're great for organizing everything from keys and towels to decor. In an apartment, you may have some more flexibility. So if you're hanging heavy items like a mirror, a curtain rod, something like that, you want to learn about drywall anchors and how to use a stud finder. These small tools will prevent big repair bills later on when it comes time to move out. Now let's talk quick fixes. You want to pick up a small container of spackling paste for filling in nail holes, a tube of caulk for sealing gaps in the kitchen and the bath, and a multi-surface cleaner to make everything sparkle when you move in. And finally, one of the most important tips for new renters or dorm dwellers, you should know how to shut off the water and the electricity. Even if you never touch them, knowing where those shutoffs are or even how to contact maintenance fast can make the difference between a small issue and a costly disaster. With a few smart tools, some DIY basics, and a little confidence, students can take charge of their new home and keep things running smoothly no matter how far from home they are. I swear to you, Jim, I'm already getting anxious and kind of sad about Henry leaving for college, and I've got like another year. What? I mean, I'm not crying. You are for sure.
Been there 3 times, my friend. I feel you.
Then you're crying too. Let's stop crying and get to the phones. Who's next?
We've got Pam in Florida with a question about her porch. How can we help out, Pam?
We live on the water, and in Florida, there's a lot of wind on the water. We're close to the Gulf of Mexico, and we have a screen porch with aluminum railings, and the wind keeps blowing the screen sections out. We've tried all different types of screens and double screening them and all different types of splines. And I wondered if you had any better ideas for us.
All right, are you talking about screen doors or windows?
Talking about screen sections on a screen porch.
All right, so it's a screen and porch. How big are the sections of screening?
Probably 4 by 6.
All right, well, those are pretty big. Are you using vinyl screen or metal screen?
Vinyl.
All right, well, that could be the issue. The vinyl screen is pretty soft. It's pretty flexible. It's not sturdy. I think you're just going to need to use a heavier gauge screen to make this more permanent. And you're also going to need to consider not only attachment points there. I'm not quite sure how you're doing that currently, but you have to make sure that the frame of the screen is super secure. And you maybe want to add grills to help kind of divide that up into a smaller space. It could be a thin grill, but a grill would definitely give it some more stability and make it stronger. I think definitely the heavier screening, not vinyl screening. And if you do want to go with vinyl, I mean, you could do a double layer, but then it's kind of harder to see through. So I think metal screening is probably going to be the right one for you.
Do you know if metal screening comes in a fine enough mesh to keep no-see-ums out?
Oh, yeah. You can find metal screen in different meshes, different densities, different colors. You just have to go to a good source to, to supply the one that you need best. And then you'll find one fine enough to keep all those insects out and everything you want to keep out of your beautiful porch.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the help.
All right. Good luck with that, Pam. I hope you enjoy sitting in there bug-free. You know, I love to bring the summer indoors, so why not clip whatever is blooming now? You probably have some zinnias or black-eyed Susans, maybe even those ornamental grasses. Bring those indoors for a breezy seasonal arrangement. You can pair them with sun-bleached branches or sprigs of herbs like rosemary or mint, whatever's growing in the garden. It's a simple, no-cost way to keep that summery vibe alive in your entryway or your kitchen for just a few more weeks. Give us a call at 888-MONEY-PIT so we can help you with everything that you are tackling this wonderful weekend. Jim, who's up next?
We're heading out to the Lone Star State, Leslie, where we have a fellow dog lover, David, and he's got a question about dogs. Well, first of all, what kind of dog is it, David?
It's mixed between a terrier and a lab, and she tends to shed. And we've got wooden floors downstairs and carpet upstairs, and tried everything. I walk around the house with a shop vac, trying to vacuum, her fur that's all over the place, and I've got her fur also embedded in the carpet, and sometimes the vacuum cleaner doesn't get it out. That's when I go against the grain of the carpet, and I drag the fur out of the carpet. So I'm just wondering if you guys have any secret recipes that I can utilize to help me with this solve this problem.
So they do make brushes. Some of them attached to, I swear to you, a vacuum, like a Flowbee of the 80s if you were a child of the 80s, and it doesn't cut their hair, but it kind of brushes them and sucks off the hair so you're not dealing with a big mess. But there are brushes that kind of just scrape the hair along and you can kind of help them shed more quickly. But that's something you could be doing to deal with just the excess amount of dog hair around the house and, vacuuming the floor all the time. But yeah, I mean, that's really, you may want to even just invest in like a super strong shop vac to help you around the house. And it's just kind of staying on top of it, brushing your dog's hair, vacuuming. It's just going to do a better job of kind of dealing with the excess amount of dog hair in the house, because we love our pets and we're not going to make the pets be outside. So you just got to add this maintenance to your dog to your to-do list.
No, that's wonderful. Thank you. I should have thought about that. Thank you so very much.
All right. You're welcome, Dave. Give that pupper a big squeeze. I love doggies. And thanks so much for calling us at 888-MONEY-PIT. Well, winter plumbing problems, they don't start in the winter. They start now while the weather is still warm. So getting ahead of issues before the temperature drops can help prevent burst pipes, leaks, and major water damage. Now, here are some smart steps that you can take to leak-proof your home before the cold season sets in. First of all, you want to start outside. Your hose bibs, those outdoor faucets, they're one of the biggest problem spots. If they're not properly winterized, any water left inside can freeze and cause that pipe to burst. So before the first frost, you want to disconnect garden hoses, drain the bibs, shut off the water to them from the inside if the plumbing allows it. Now, you also want to check your crawl space and your basement. Pipes in these unheated or even just poorly insulated areas are at serious risk of freezing. So insulate any exposed water lines using foam insulation sleeves or heat tape. It's an affordable fix that could save you thousands in potential damage. Now, you want to also then inspect your water heater. This is a good time of year to drain and flush your water heater to clear out the sediment that builds up and reduces efficiency. If you've never done it in the lifetime of your water heater, do not start now because that's when problems happen. But if this is part of your regular maintenance or you're starting anew, go for it. You want to check for signs of rust, leaks, corrosion at the bottom of the tank or around any of the connection points. And if your heater is over 10 years old, some types of water heating systems could last a little longer, like 15 years, but 10, 15 years, you're pushing it. It might be time to consider a replacement before winter puts that added strain on it. Now, you also want to take this time to look under your sinks, inside your cabinets. A slow leak inside a vanity or a kitchen cabinet could go unnoticed for months. So you want to open the door and feel around the pipes for any moisture, any warping, or signs of drips. Fixing that leak now can save you from mold and water damage later. Inspect your ceiling and your walls for stains. Brown, yellowish stains could be signs of hidden leaks from plumbing lines above. If you do spot anything suspicious, get it checked out before that cooler weather forces your heating system to work harder and potentially spreads that moisture even further. Bonus tip, know those shutoff valves. It doesn't just count for those new students and those first timers. Every adult in your home should know where that water main shutoff valve is. If a pipe does burst, shutting off that water quickly can minimize damage while you wait for that plumber to come. Taking just a few of these steps now can help you avoid winter plumbing nightmares and keep your home leak-free all season long. And now is the perfect weather to get those projects started. Jim, let's get back to the phones.
Heading to Arizona with Yvonne on the line, who's got a stinky bathroom. You're not alone, Yvonne.
Yeah, I've got a house of boys, so I understand the stinky bathroom.
What's going on?
Yeah, so it doesn't happen all the time, but every once in a while I'll be running the water in the bathroom sink and this foul odor comes out of the drain. So I'm wondering what could be causing that.
All right. Well, generally that's bacteria. You know, you kind of get the bacteria that decays in those drains. And what happens then is it's called biogas, which is like gross stuff that's coming out of your body that's like filmy and nasty, and it's off-gassing right back out into your room. And then it smells really yucky. So let's, at least everybody's washing. So yay. Let's look at that.
Is yucky the technical term? You've been in this trade a while, Leslie.
I mean, I think it's yucky, so I'm going to say it's yucky. I mean, what you really need to do is just scrub. You can use an oxidized bleach for that. It gets super clean. It's going to kill the bacteria. You can kind of even plug the pipe and fill it up with some sort of a bleach solution, and that could kill the bacteria that's in the drain itself. But I think you're going to find that if you can kind of manage what your cleaning of this biogas, it's going to start to smell a lot better.
So I have to actually scrub it? I can't just pour some bleach down there?
I mean, no, you definitely need to scrub it if you can. That's why you probably want to take it apart from underneath the sink. You have a trap there. It's U-shaped. If it doesn't, by the way, that could also be the source of your problem. But I'm pretty sure it has that trap. You want to take it apart, take that trap section, that U-shaped section of pipe out, and scrub the inside with some oxygenated bleach, like a stiff bristle brush if you can get in there. And that will kill that bacteria, and then the biogas will go away.
Okay. Sounds like a lot of work, but I'll certainly give it a try.
Listen, it's not that much work. It's definitely not that easy, but you're going to be so much happier. So it's like, it's worth the reward. Thanks so much for calling us at 888-MONEY-PIT. And now is the time when Jim and I jump into the email inbox and kind of see who's been messaging us. So, Jim, who wrote in?
That's my favorite part of the show, Les.
I know. Me too.
Ben wrote into the Money Pit. He says, how can you bring back life to a porcelain bathtub when the finished gloss is gone? That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, it is a good question because there's so many beautiful tubs out there. And I mean, like beautiful shapes of tubs too. And then the porcelain wears out and then, most people just get rid of them, which is unfortunate because I love a beautiful, deep claw-shaped tub, claw-footed tub, I should say. Like I really just always want to sit in one. So Ben, first of all, can you restore porcelain? Well, you can. If you do it professionally, there is a way to restore it. But it is incredibly caustic and it is expensive to do so. It takes hours. It's definitely not a DIY project. Now, that said, there are products out there that are DIY and essentially paints designed for bathtubs and for tiles. I mean, we kind of look into this lately because, I'm just kind of a nerd for a beautiful tub. So I'm always kind of looking at ways that you can do this. It's challenging, though, because replacing it takes away the character of the space. Finishing it poorly really could make it look bad. Something so old, might not work with modern plumbing, but there's always ways to attach it. There are DIY paints out there. Sherwin-Williams has one. The guys in the store say how great it is, but if you look online, maybe the reviews aren't so much so. So that said, if you do want to bring back life to a porcelain tub, it's special. It has a beautiful shape. It's super old. It's architecturally important to the home. I would definitely hire a pro Sometimes they remove the tub and do it off-site. Sometimes they do it in-house. If you have young kids or if you're going to be around a while, don't be in the house when they do this. But it's something that can be done. I don't know if you're up for it as a DIY project, but for me to have it done perfectly, beautifully, I definitely get a pro to look into that. All right, Ben, good luck with that. I can't wait to hear about it.
Leslie, we've got Amy who says, my house is old and the basement is damp. I have a large humidifier and I dump the bucket daily. I believe she means dehumidifier.
Yes.
I did notice that when you touch the walls, concrete falls off in pieces. How do I prevent further damage to the foundation? I started on the exterior by putting down stone for drainage this weekend, and I am going to be putting in new gutters. Well, that was good.
All right, Amy. So you might be seeing some concrete sort of falling off from where the wall behind and the foundation is just so damp the concrete is losing its adhesion. You could also perhaps be seeing something that's called like a mineral deposit, when the water just gets absorbed into the foundation and then evaporates into the house. And then you could be seeing some sort of white, staining on that. If that's what you see, a little bit of white vinegar will do the trick and that'll come off. If it's definitely an issue where the concrete's falling off, then we definitely have to think about looking at the moisture management outside. Make sure you have gutters, make sure they're clean, make sure the downspouts are free flowing, and deposit the water 4-6 feet away from the house. The idea of stone to put down to sort of improve drainage, not the best idea because the water could just fall through the stone and get closer to the foundation. You do want to use clean fill dirt, not topsoil, and slope away from the house to get that moisture running away. I promise you, if you can handle the moisture outside, inside will improve as well. And that's a wrap on this hour of the Money Pit. We've covered easy end of summer style with tips to refresh your decor, get your student off to college, and keep the plumbing from bursting once the weather turns. Just because the season is winding down doesn't mean your home has to. Stick with us for more great ideas coming up on the next hour to help you wrap up summer in style and get set for the season ahead. Remember, you can do it yourself, but you don't have to do it alone.
On the Money Pit Radio Show. On the Money Pit Radio Show. Pick up the telephone. Fix up your home sweet home by calling 888-MONEY-PIT. Woo!
You'll get more than you expect with McValue at McDonald's. Like deals on your late night go-tos when the party goes till dawn. And savings on their faves. So date night always passes the vibe check. Plus, when the fam shows up for the weekend, you can show out for breakfast.
Buy one breakfast sandwich, add one for $1. Only in the app. Limited time only at participating McDonald's. Valid once a day. Must opt into rewards. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.